Welcome to PLUSone, the series where each month I look at the free games on PlayStation Plus and tell you if they're worth the download. After all, the games may be free, but your time is valuable. Today we're covering two of the final three PS4 games for March, Claire Extended Cut and Bombing Busters. Let's begin with Bombing Busters. It's Bomberman. Next. Okay, fine, I'll give it a bit more detail. The game looks and plays like a cheap smartphone knockoff of Bomberman. If you're unfamiliar with Bomberman, what you see on the screen right now is what you get. You're placed into a sort of maze with enemies, with your only option being to bomb your way out. Lather, rinse, repeat. As you blow up blocks or enemies, power-ups will sometimes appear, including letting you place more bombs at once, a higher movement speed, or even the ability to throw bombs over walls. Bombing Busters has 5 single-player worlds, each with 5 levels and then a boss level. Like you would expect from a smartphone knockoff game, each level has a 3-star scoring system that'll rank your performance in that level. The problem here is that Bombing Busters is somewhat randomly generated, so different iterations of level 1-2 can feel wildly different in difficulty. That makes for some extra fun potentially, but it also means that grinding out those 3 stars for the trophies is more reliant on quick thinking than observant planning. Plus, there's 4-player local and 8-player online multiplayer, which is usually where Bomberman shines. Although fair warning, if you're on the Vita, you can't actually create lobbies there for some reason. Only PS4 players can. Visually, the game looks, again, like a smartphone knockoff of Bomberman. The art isn't bad, it's just very uninspired. Likewise, the music is almost exclusively public domain pieces like Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy. Pretty much just that song, over, and over, and over, and over. The crazy doctor that created our robot hero at least has some decent voice acting, so that's a plus. The only reason you would want to +1 Bombing Busters to your collection is if you're a big fan of Bomberman, because somehow there's not a genuine Bomberman release on the PS4 yet. If you find yourself craving that classic franchise, consider this Diet Bomberman. It won't feel the same, and you'll feel dirty afterwards, but it'll do. It's less than 700 megabytes, so size isn't a problem, and there's no platinum for you trophy hunters. If you're watching this after March, the game goes for $7. By the time you would want to buy it, Super Bomberman R will have been ported to the PS4 from the Switch, and that game should drop to $20 pretty often. It has a ton more content than this one does too. I would recommend the real thing over Diet any day. Next. Claire is a 2D psychological horror game that seems to take a lot of inspiration from the grandfathers of the genre, like Clock Tower, Silent Hill, or old school Resident Evil. You play as a woman named Claire, who's watching over her mother in a hospital when she's suddenly thrown into a sort of nightmare version of the hospital. Very quickly she finds a dog, Anubis, to help ward off the evil spirits that try to attack her. From there, you explore the hospital, trying to find Claire's mom's room while warding off or hiding from those evil spirits. The atmosphere is very solid. A hospital is always a great setting to lay on the creepy, and it works here. The pixel art style is very descriptive while also still being stylized. If you're very attentive, you won't have much trouble figuring out the hospital's many rooms just by looks alone. The issue here is that you're essentially exploring a 3D map of a hospital in a 2-dimensional plane, and even with a map, that's incredibly confusing. I'm gonna try to explain that thought, so if you get confused, that's kind of the point. If you're in the north hallway, going to the room to your left will move you counterclockwise to the west hallway, while going right will put you towards the east hallway. That would be okay if there weren't several exits to each room and several rooms that are interconnected. Very quickly, I found myself lost without a clue of where I needed to go to progress, checking every door religiously to make sure I didn't miss a hint. The in-game objectives are no help outside of telling you the general section of the hospital you want to be in. And this is the opening section of the game. I can promise you there are hundreds, if not thousands of people that bought Claire and gave up before they even left the ICU. I did get past it, and even after this rough intro, there's not all that much to write home about. The enemies that chase you seem to chase you consistently between rooms, which is a cool feature, but there aren't many places to hide from them, and I have no idea how to shake them because the game sure as hell didn't give me any hints. So now I'm running through a labyrinth of rooms from a giant ghost thing, still unsure of where I need to go next. Yeah, this one isn't getting a +1 either for most players. If you're a big fan of horror games, something like Clock Tower especially, then it's right up your alley. But too many PS Plus subscribers are going to get frustrated and quit because the opening hour of the game is so obtuse. I'm the kind of person to check every nook and cranny, explore every room, and I still found myself lost and confused within the first couple hours, which is apparently over a third of the game. That's a shame because I wanted to enjoy and recommend this one. If you're watching this after March, it's $15, but it very often goes on sale for $5 or less. Like Bombing Busters, it's about 700 megabytes in size, so it's also small, but this one does have a Platinum trophy. If you can beat it once, you'll probably be able to Platinum it without much more trouble. If you're not a big horror junkie, I would say you can give this one a pass. Thanks for watching. Join me next time as I close out March with the big one, Bloodborne. If you want more of a +1 fix right now though, you can check out my reviews of Ratchet & Clank and Mighty No. 9 by clicking either video on your screen.